This is the We Are Memory Keepers button press. I picked this one up from Michaels because of its ease of use and also because it looked a little nicer than some of the other options available on Amazon. In terms of build quality, it's almost a full metal body construction except for the handle, which I think is hard plastic, and the swing out base, which is used to hold the inserts. This is also made of plastic. Overall, it seems pretty durable, although I don't know how much abuse these plastic inserts can take. Out of the box, it was pretty easy to figure out how to use. It comes with these white cutting inserts, which help you cut out the graphic you want to use. It also comes with these light medium teal press inserts, which is 1.45 inches or 37 millimeters, and also 5 medium buttons to help you get started. One big issue I have with these cutting inserts and dies is that it's hard to see what you're cutting once you overlay the die over top of your graphic. So these are intended for large buttons, and you can see once you overlay the die on top, it's hard to see where the edge starts and ends, which makes for an inconsistent cut in my opinion. I guess you could simply print out a square and account for a safe margin for your graphic, but I've experienced inconsistent results with my buttons not crimping properly. This is an example of a button I tried to make recently that did not crimp properly. I've read online that it could be because of a full bleed graphic. In other words, your print should not go all the way to the edge of your button. Basically what you do with these cutting inserts is you just simply put that into the bottom, and that has a magnet in the center, and that goes just so you would take your graphic. I can just cut this one up real quick. This one's intended for a large button, so you would take your large cutting insert here, so you can see what I mean, but it's hard to tell where you're actually cutting. I suppose if you put it against a light, you can see the silhouette of the edge of your graphic, and you could just simply cut there. This one I've accounted for a margin just because I wanted to see if it would make a difference, as if I'm able to crimp properly or not doing it this way. But basically I already lost the placement there, but you can see how frustrating this could potentially be. But basically you just overlay that over top, and then you swing the base back into place. There, it's moved already again, and then you just press this down firmly. You should hear kind of a crack. Then you swing this out and you should have a cutout graphic. So this one actually didn't do too bad, but you see that it's not perfectly centered. So when I put this back onto my button later, we may end up with a misaligned graphic. So I don't really use these. I think I end up just cutting them by hand. So depending on the size of button you want to make, you take your press inserts. This one is for the base, and you basically just line them up so that the words are facing the right side up. And then with the top, you do the same as with the cutting insert. There's a magnet there. Make sure the words are facing right way up, right side up. You just kind of like roughly put them up like that until the magnet engages. So basically, once you have your inserts in place, you want to line up the lettering with the arrow indicator. So we want to start with A first. Make sure that A at the top is lined up with the arrow, and A at the bottom is also lined up with the arrow. So I'm going to take what you do is you take your shell, place that into the base insert, add your graphic, and then place the Mylar on top, and you swing the base back to the center, and then you press down. Once you press down, the top should have picked up your button, and you swing the base out again and you add the backing with the back of the backing facing down. You then swing the base back, change the letter to B, change the letter set to B, and make sure that they line up with the arrows, and then you crimp down with some nice firm pressure. That should make your button. So I actually misaligned the backing there, so that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. I don't think you can actually turn this around, but I want to do an example using the press with buttons that I purchased off of Amazon. Now these, although they are the same size as the We Are Memory Keepers buttons, these I find don't crimp properly. So we're going to try it with a graphic that I just cut out. Now the difference is that these are magnetic backings. They're a little heavier and thicker than the pin backs that I used to create the first button. But in theory they should work, but for some reason I cannot get them to work. So this one looks like it did alright, but if you look closely you can see that the Mylar isn't nicely crimped the way it is on these pin back buttons. So this isn't going to be something that I could sell, unfortunately, because there's just too big of a risk of it coming undone. So overall I give this product about a 5 out of 10. It looks pretty, and I think overall usage is straightforward unless you use We Are Memory Keeper brand buttons exclusively. You're gonna have inconsistent results. They sell button blanks with magnetic backings, but I find them to be ugly. I purchased these ones off of Amazon because this is a sort of a multi-function backing. You can use this as a bottle opener, and I like that the magnets are concealed very nicely. And given that their buttons aren't exactly cheap, I'm disappointed I couldn't use cheaper third-party buttons. And maybe it was just a one-off and I got a bad batch, but so just let me know in the comments if you've experienced similar issues so I can conclude if it's simply user error. Thank you for watching.